Hello guys, what's going on? We are looking at a new kind of concept here with linear equations. We are now going to be given a graph and we've got to produce the equation, okay? So if you can produce a graph from an equation, you can then produce an equation from a graph. It's like working backwards. You know, it's nothing new. We always like to work backwards in math, all right? So we are going to be writing a linear equation and we're going to write it in the form y equals mx plus b. Okay, this is 8th grade. This is what we focus on in 8th grade. Here we go. Y equals mx plus b. So guys, basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to look at graphs and we're going to look for two numbers. X stays X and Y stays Y. We're just going to be looking for the M value and the B value. The M value is, of course, the slope, the rate of change, the rise over the run. The B is where it's crossing the Y-axis. So I thought what we would do is we would just go and look at, I just went into Bing and I searched graphs and graphing linear equations, rather, and a bunch of graphs pull up, all right? So we're going to look at this one here. Go away. All right, we're going to look at this one, and we're going to determine what the graph is. So what I would recommend, what I'm telling you to do, starting off, we write down y equals mx plus b. So we know what we're ultimately trying to get towards. All right, y equals mx plus b. You're looking for two numbers. You're looking for the m value and the b value. And most kids like to figure out what the b value is first. So let's get this number right here, the b value. As we know, y equals mx plus b, it could say y equals mx minus b. Just to make it easy, we don't say the slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus or minus b. If it's crossing the y-axis at -4, you'd put -4. Right here, we're crossing the y-axis right here at +3, so we're going to put a +3. All right? Now, to get the m value, that is the change in y over the change in x, or more simply put, we'd say the rise over the run. All right? Now, very first, before we do anything, we look to see the sign of the line. Is it increasing or decreasing? You always want to look at that first, because if you say the slope is 4 and it should be -4, or, the whole thing's wrong, because those are two completely different equations. This line going from left to right is going to be going up, so that makes it a positive slope. So I'm just going to put a little plus sign right here to make sure I remember, not to put a negative sign at least, all right? We're going to go from this point here, the one that just happens to be given to us, to this point here, and we're going to do so by using rise over run. You don't go left and right first like you're plotting a point. You're going to go up and then over. We went rise was 2 and the run was 3. So that means your slope is 2/3. And don't make that into a decimal. Leave it like that. That's in the form rise over run. It's the exact answer. Leave it as 2/3. Your slope, or the equation is y equals 2/3 x plus 3. I got to teach some kids now, but I will come back at you in just a little bit, all right, with another example. Good evening, everybody. This is your teacher, Mr. Portman, and I have here my lovely daughter, Taylor. Say hello, Taylor. Say hello.
Hello.
All right, she's going to help us out with this problem here today. All right, we now have another graph in which we are going to find the equation, and they're going to start getting a little bit more complex, okay? I would take the opportunity to just pause the video for a second and see if you can get this question on your own, all right? All right. Hopefully you have at least attempted this one. So what we're going to do, Taylor, draw a Y right here. Can you draw a Y?
Okay.
Draw a Y right there.
Okay.
All right, good Y. Cool. I'm gonna do my Y over here. All right, and then we're gonna put equals. Do you know how to do an M? X.
Yeah, I know how to
plus B. You do know how to do an M. I thought you did. All right. So we have Y equals.
You want me?
Not right this second, babe. All right. So we're gonna do Y equals MX plus B. Now we're gonna start putting numbers in. You know numbers, right?
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
So which number can I write?
Well, that's what we got to figure out here. What number? See this line right here?
Yeah.
The black line? Where is it crossing this blue line? It's called the y-axis. Where is it crossing? What number is it at?
6.
No, 6 is right here. Where's it crossing? Right here.
4.
Yeah, it's crossing at 4. So we're going to put a point right here at 4. So watch. See how I put a point right there?
Can I put a point?
Sure, put it right there, just where that other one is. You just make it a little bit bigger. There you go. Yep, keep going. Yeah. All right. So there's our point. Now, there's not another time on this line where it's crossing the x and the y-axis at the same time. Hold on. So we're going to keep following this line until it crosses the x and the y-axis, and it looks like there's another one right there. Can you put a point right there, Taylor?
A point?
Yeah, right there.
I'm just going to do a little dot.
All right, right there. Do a little dot right. No. Here, I'll tell you what. Right there. Yeah. Good job. That's perfect. All right, now.
This is kind of fun.
We got the y-intercept, which was the b value, and it was at positive 4. So Daddy's going to do a plus 4 right here. All right?
Now, what is y plus y?
Now.
What is y plus y equals?
It equals y plus y. Hold on, let me erase this. Will you erase this for me? See that X right there? Will you erase that?
Where's the X?
See that? It looks kind of ugly. Keep going. There you go. Good. All right.
Here, let me draw.
No, hold on, baby. Hold on. I'll get you to write the final answer down, okay? All right. Now, before we do anything, Taylor, is this line going up or down?
Down.
Yeah, it's going down. As you read it going from left to right, that thing's going down. So we're going to put a negative sign in there. Have you ever seen a negative sign before?
No.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? All right. It looks like takeaway, doesn't it? All right, so we're going to go from one point to the next by using rise over run. So we're going to go rise.
It's like one place to another.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to go from here to here. So we're going to go down 1, 2, 3. So we're going to put a 3 in the top of a fraction.
I know how to do a 3.
And then, all right, do your 3 over here.
Okay.
Right over there. That is awesome. That is well done. Now, put a line underneath it. A big line.
Like a big
like this. Cool. Now, we're going to see how many times we're going to go over. So, let me see this. We're going to go over it. Watch. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, put a 4 underneath there.
Okay.
You know how to do a 4? Oh, yeah. So, we're going to put a 4 right there. And our final answer is going to be y equals negative 3/4 x plus 4. All right. Now. All right. Let's hear it from Taylor, everyone. Let's give her a round of applause. Good night, Taylor. You go have a good night. Let Daddy finish the rest. All right. We are going to get into some of the challenging questions now. Okay. Let's look at this one. This is a graph of Elena's babysitting earnings. And what we're going to do is we are going to write the equation of this line that goes through, that represents how much money she makes over the given amount of time. Okay? So, having said that, we are going to first write y equals mx plus b like we always do. Because we know that we're looking for two numbers, just the m value and the b value. So we're going to write y equals x. And we could go ahead and write a little plus sign right here because we know that our line is increasing. Now, one thing that I wanted to point out to you here before we get going is, if you wanted to start with, this is different just because we're in the first quadrant. No big deal. We're going to answer it just like we always do. Where it's crossing the y-axis. Where is it crossing this line that's going straight up and down here? It's crossing right there, and that's at 10. This point here. We have a point at 10. So we could say, and it's positive, so we would say plus 10. Why does it do that? All right, we're going to say plus 10 because that is our y-intercept. All right. Now, a lot of people would want to say, okay, you're going to rise 1, run 1. The slope is 1. That's not true in this case, okay? This is actually a lot more difficult than it seems. You're not going up 1. You're going from 10 to 15. That's up 5. And furthermore, it's not crossing an X and a Y at that point right there. All right, if you see, it's not like this. This is not a point. It's not crossing the. It's not actually crossing the Y at the right spot. It's or the X. I mean, it's like a little bit above. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe you like focus in really good, but it's off just a little bit, and that matters. Okay, so we got to keep traveling up this line until it crosses an X and Y. It doesn't cross here either. All right, here's our next Y line. It's not crossing at X. Here it's not crossing at X. Not cross. I mean, we got to just keep going and keep going and keep going. You see what I mean? So we're going to just keep going until it follows. Now, I would stop right here and say maybe it's crossing right there, but you see how it's a little bit too low? So we're going to keep going. And then it's too low right there as well. I say the best place that we see that it's crossing is like either here at this spot or at this spot. And I'm going to just take this spot here just because to me it looks like it's the best. All right, like I wouldn't give you anything that close. I doubt you would see anything really that close on like a test or like my exam or anything like that, just because of the sense that we're not trying to trick you. We're not saying, oh, that's off by a fraction of a tenth of a point. You know, it's going to be pretty apparent where it's crossing the line. You know what I mean? So let's just put the next point all the way up here. All right, and we'll see why it's so far apart in just a second. Well,